if you try to buy and sell every small support and resistance in here, chances are you missed moves. Okay, so this is why my strategy is only to take profit on large time frames at major resistances. And you would have seen that structure high for Bitcoin in this move. I didn't know all of this at that time. I didn't think like this. Okay, I knew some things, but I didn't think like this. I'm just if I did think like this at that time, I probably wouldn't be here. I'd probably be on a private island somewhere, a Brazilianaire, thinking of my next investments. But I'm happy, and I'm doing fine, and I'm gonna do even better. Anyway, this is next major resistance. So I think this is the best way to think about these big moves. You think of the next major resistance and you take profit there. That's a significant dump. That's a significant retracement. That gives you time to buy back without missing positive price action. This is why I would look at large time frames and only major resistances. Okay. Hello everyone, my name's Dean, let's talk crypto. This is where you subscribe for daily Bitcoin updates and technical analysis. We track the price of Bitcoin as a proxy for the cryptocurrency markets at large. Today is April 17th, 2022. The question is, will Bitcoin finally break out today? Okay, will it finally break out today? That is what we're trying to answer. Also, what will the altcoins do? All right. If you want to find out, then stick around until the very end of this analysis. Happy Easter, by the way, if you celebrate, right? It's Easter Sunday, so I hope you have a great day. All right. I'm seeing on the 4-hourly chart a head and shoulders pattern. A head and shoulders pattern is a classical pattern in technical analysis that many perceive to be a bearish pattern, okay? Many say if you get this head and shoulders pattern, you break down more often than not. It's very reliable. And the breakdown target is simply the distance or the height of the head from the neckline, which would be about here, from the point of breakout. And I've fallen prey to this, right? And that would be around 38K, right? I've fallen prey to this a number of times, right? Assuming that your head and shoulders is bearish. It isn't a bearish pattern. It's just a pattern, okay, that breaks out sometimes to the upside, sometimes to the downside. But I think of the head and shoulders actually as being a reversal pattern. And in this case, it looks to be a bullish or bearish to bullish reversal, okay? Because in a lot of classical manuals of technical analysis, they'll tell you that this pattern is a bullish to bearish reversal, meaning you go into the move, you print your head and shoulders, and then you come out bearish, right? But right now, we got into this move, right? We got into this pattern from a bearish breakdown, right? We've been breaking down for quite some time, ever since 48K, right? Maybe a week. We got into this move. It's a head and shoulders. And now we are actually breaking up and out, right? So I would, just for your own edification, understand this pattern, if you're doing pattern analysis, as being a reversal pattern, and then look at the circumstances around it to see, is it bullish or is it bearish, right? Will it result in a breakup or a breakdown? So I am seeing a breakout, okay? And I've been, like I said, on the other side of this move, assuming that it was going to break down. But look, if we make a higher high and break this right shoulder, then that is confirmed a breakout, right? And the right shoulder right now, the high of the right shoulder is at 40,846 on this chart. So if we make that higher high, I think we can confirm this head and shoulders pattern to be bullish, okay? The way I see it, I'm seeing a reversal pattern of the sort that I discuss on this channel, right? An A wave, a B wave, and then an A, B, C. So another flat correction, I call this the C section, okay? So this is what I'm seeing. And yes, sometimes that does result in what you call a head and shoulders pattern. And the target for this is somewhere around here, right? A structure high around 42.5, 42.6, okay? And you can also get this target using another pattern, right? Simple, what would this be? Symmetrical triangle, right? And that symmetrical triangle would be something like this. Let's see. Yeah, something like this. Okay. And this is how I would look at it in terms of would it break up or break down? And what's the target? The target would just be the height of this triangle. It's not really a symmetrical triangle. It's kind of a rising wedge, maybe. And so, yeah, that target's around structure high around 42.5. Now, when I say the target, it's just the first target, all right? If you're subscribed to the channel, you'll know that I'm looking at this entire construction as being a reversal for a very large move up. As I said some videos ago, I think that this is the beginning of the move to 100K. This is one of the reasons I'm not leverage trading. There's no need to. I'm not trading Bitcoin per se, but I'm trading other altcoins that can give me the same, if not better results than if I were leverage trading with a lot less risk. Okay, so that's my play on this. Basically getting in on the bottom of a large move that I'm seeing on the charts. Okay, so that's pretty much my Bitcoin analysis. Once again, right, in terms of volume, it's telling me that ever since this drop right here, okay, from the top of the head of this move, right, ever since this drop, the fact that volume has been divergent, volume has not supported the drop, tells me that price action wants to go up, okay? And that's my main sort of cue, letting me know where price action is likely to go. Again, this is all probabilistic, but just looking at the probabilities, if volume's decreasing, as price is decreasing over the course of 4 days, then that lets me know with quite a great level of confidence, or a high level of confidence that this move is destined to go up. Now, what does it do when it reaches its target? I believe that it corrects somewhat, slightly, and then continues to go up. I'm not of the opinion that we consolidate around 42.5 and then dump down to Goblin Town, as many would believe. Okay, because I think a lot of analysts are looking at this larger construction on the daily as being a bear flag, which I refute in another video on the channel. If you're interested, just have a look why this isn't a bear flag, right? This entire move right here, or actually, sorry, this entire move right here in this channel. But yeah, I believe that the next major resistance, right? Although I just pointed out 42.5 as being a target, I don't think that's going to be major resistance. I think the next major resistance in which it, after which, after which we will kind of correct a decent amount, is the 50K region, 50 to 52K region. Okay, so this is what I'm saying. I think that our reversal out of this holding pattern that we've been in for the past 6 days is imminent. Okay, we are breaking out as we speak. I think this move will continue up, and as I said, I think it will target that 42.5 structure high, but not stop there, consolidate shortly, and then continue to go up. Okay, so that's Bitcoin for today. Now let's look at some altcoins. Let's look at the rest of the market. How's the rest of the market responding? All right, and we can go immediately into Revain, one of our favorite altcoins, and it's broken out. And look at this breakout. We've gotten, we're on the 4-hourly time frame. We've gotten a candle, a 7% candle, right? In the past, I mean, that just happened because I think I was just looking at this. In the past few minutes, we've gotten a 7% candle. So this is just to let you know, like, these breakouts are going to happen and they're going to be quick. I know we've been in a holding pattern, so many people can't perceive or conceive. Once we're ranging and we're sideways, it's hard to imagine price moving. Especially, people are of the belief that on weekends we just don't move because there's no volume. But the market, I'm not a big proponent of that. The market does what it does when it wants. So I'm not like, oh, weekend, it's not going to move. We're not going to have any big moves on the weekend. I've seen plenty of big moves on the weekend, right? It really depends on the pattern. It really depends on the price action. Price action's king for me, not necessarily the time of day or the time of the week or if it's a holiday or anything like that. Okay, so Revain, we've gotten our breakout, all right, and I believe that it will continue. Again, my next major resistance is once it hits this line, which is, let's go on the daily. Once it hits this line, which is our major resistance, next major resistance of this large reversal pattern, this descending wedge, okay? This yellow line that I have, I remember what it is. It's a re-up line. I have an alarm for when price crosses down into this, I add more, okay? So basically, I'm seeing price go all the way up, hit this line at some point, if we hit the line today, it would be around 6.00613, right? But whenever we hit this line, I take profit and then I get back in starting when we cross down onto this yellow line. That's what that yellow line is. I set so many alerts sometimes I forget what they are. But I do label them, so when they come up, they'll let me know exactly what they are. So that's Revain. Okay, so that's an example of this holding pattern breaking up. Okay, so we've got to break out to the upside. So let's see our next one, Kadena. Will Kadena do the same? I believe so. Okay, let's go on the smaller time frame. Again, you have volume divergence. You've been going down ever since April 14th, right? Moving down, yet and still volume has not complied. Volume does not agree with the move down. So that lets me know that price more than likely wants to go up. Okay, so I expect price to go up just as it did in Revain. And my next small target for Kadena is probably 612. Okay, I think we'll get some resistance at $6.12, just judging by the VPVR. Okay, on the daily. But again, just zoom out and keep the larger play in perspective. Should you take profit at 612? Do what you want, but I wouldn't necessarily, because these are big moves. So the more you get up, the more you trade in and out, the more likely you are to miss price action, right? So I would only take profit at major resistances. Yes, this does look like a major resistance on the VPVR, but the structural major resistance is here, this descending diagonal resistance. So I wouldn't take profit in Kadena until we hit this line. This line, which represents a move of around 55%. So yeah, I know that the VPVR shows a lot of buying and selling here, but I would not necessarily take profit here. Not financial advice. Do whatever you want. I think that's just going to be a brief pit stop. Okay. So yeah, I'm not necessarily trading little moves here and there, given what the market can possibly do here. For me, this is what Bitcoin did at 30K, right? It just went, and in the span of a week, we did a crazy amount. Let's go and see that actually. Bitcoin was at 30K back here, okay, in July of 2021, okay, and in the span of 10 days, 10 days, did 44%. Okay, so that's what I'm saying. Like, you don't necessarily want to try and buy and sell. Do you see this? Obviously, we're on the daily, but look at this price action. Look at this, all these days, these 10 days of green. If you try to buy and sell every small support and resistance in here, chances are you missed moves. Okay, so this is why my strategy is only to take profit on large time frames at major resistances. And you would have seen that structure high for Bitcoin in this move. I didn't know all of this at that time. I didn't think like this. Okay, I knew some things, but I didn't think like this. I'm just if I did think like this at that time, I probably wouldn't be here. I'd probably be on a private island somewhere, a Brazilianaire, thinking of my next investments. But I'm happy, and I'm doing fine, and I'm gonna do even better. Anyway, this is next major resistance. So I think this is the best way to think about these big moves. You think of the next major resistance and you take profit there. That's a significant dump. That's a significant retracement. That gives you time to buy back without missing positive price action. This is why I would look at large time frames and only major resistances. Okay, so back to Kadena, this is what I'm thinking. You don't necessarily want to nickel and dime and look for small moves. You want to get out of that whole sideways market thinking, scalp thinking. Like think a little bigger, because these are bigger moves that are likely to happen. So think in terms of, okay, next major resistance, that's when I take profit. Then I look for a way to buy back in at next major support, and then rinse and repeat if you want to trade. And you don't even have to trade at all. You can just let it go, right? For these altcoins that we've identified on this channel as being, great gainers that do at a minimum 40x. All right. So that's Kadena. Again, next major resistance, whenever it hits this line, I don't know when that will be because it's a downward sloping resistance. So I would just put an alarm on this trend line here, this resistance, using these two data points. Verasity, last but not least, same idea. Okay, I'm going to move this a little bit. Yeah, there we go. Okay, and let's go on the 4-hourly time frame. And we can see that, once again, we have our head and shoulders pattern, right? Amateur or novice traders will immediately see this as being bearish, okay? And that's why most novice traders, novice investors are screaming bear market, and that we're going to break down and everything like that, because they're seeing this as being a head and shoulders bearish pattern, right? And their classical charting Investopedia article tells them that this is going to break down, and it breaks down X% of the time, and so you should look for the breakdown targets. But we understand that these are reversal patterns instead of just bearish patterns. I think it's healthier to think in terms, if you're a pattern analyst, instead of thinking of a pattern like a symmetrical triangle, an ascending triangle, ascending wedge, or whatever as being bullish or bearish, you should think in terms of percentages, but even better, think in both ways. Think of what it does and how it moves, and then look for confirmations or corroborations of what it may do, right? So you use indicators, you use other price action to understand, use the context to understand what it's likely to do, rather than just taking that pattern and seeing it as, this does that and that does this. It'll help, I think, in your trading. Just, not financial advice, just something that has helped me. Because I've tried to trade these head and shoulders to the downside, thinking it's going to break down, and gotten smoked so many times because, I, ignored the nuance of, these different moves. Anyway, again, head and shoulders pattern that I believe is likely to break out, not down. Okay. And again, I'm taking this as being a simple descending triangle, I believe it would be, or symmetrical triangle, not exactly sure, something like that. Yeah, something like this, okay. And I'm looking at this breaking up and out. And for VRA, I'm seeing the target as being, again, these are like, not targets I'm taking profit on, but just initial targets. Something like 2.3 cents, okay? But again, I'm not taking profit in VRA or anything else until it hits major structural resistance, which would be the top of this entire move on the high time frame. So this is what I'm seeing in the market. Hope this was helpful. Hope this was useful. Enjoy your Sundays, my friends, if you celebrate Easter or if you don't, and be safe in the markets. Again, I would think big, zoom out, look at where we are in the market. We're at a very important bottom. Don't sell willy-nilly, right? If you have a good position, keep it until major structural resistance, not financial advice. But I don't want you to miss any of these moves because they may happen while you're asleep or not paying attention. All right, take care, everyone. Like, share, and subscribe. Do all that good stuff. I'll see you tomorrow. Bye.
One